Morning, my music friends. We got a video from Andre, and he's dead wrong about what he's showing us here. So let's have some fun with learning the right way to do it. And I understand why Andre wouldn't know these things. It's like they've been lost to time. It's like composers, who is me, only understands this stuff, but it really clears it up for why everyone's melodies sound like shit and why they don't know how to play them. So let's get into the video. Let's have some fun. And of course I'll say I love Andre over here because I'm neurodivergent and I don't understand how I can say the absolute truth and everyone will hate me for it. But then Andre's video is ignorant, you know? But everybody, no one likes me because the way I talk, well, I can't control it. So let's do the video.
Because it has a really long neck, a ton of strings, and a bunch of different ways to play everything. And because of this,
I couldn't agree more. There is nothing more confusing than the guitar until you get the CAGED system and all of it works itself out for itself. Everything that was difficult, everything that was a pain in the ass, all of a sudden works itself out. The pesky B string, and how do I shift this over, and how do it all works itself out just fine.
You might not have ever thought about this, but the guitar is a uniquely difficult instrument because it has a really long neck, a ton of strings, and a bunch of different ways to play everything. And because of this, it can be very difficult to learn how to play all of your scales up and down the entire neck. As a result, we have many different methods to achieve just that goal.
We actually don't. We don't have many methods to achieve that goal. There's one method and all other methods come out of it. There is no such thing as don't think of it as the CAGED system. That's just the anagram it makes. Think of it as the 5 positions. If you think of it as the 5 positions, you can understand how it's the 5 positions on violin. You can understand how it's the 5 positions on cello. You can understand that the guitar is not just this single instrument, it's a string instrument. And there's 5 positions to play on, and there's a reason why we call it positional playing, because each position has its own flavor, its own pattern, and this gets a lot deeper of why Andre is dead wrong. So let's get on with it.
All of the methods, the CAGED method, and
but first, the CAGED system, which is the 5 positions, you build from 0. You build the 5 positions. In between those 5 positions, it offers you 7 scales, which is the 3 note per string patterns. So it's not that there's 2 different systems, there's the 5 positions, and then the 3 note per string patterns come out of that. They're in between, they're already right there. Well, while you're playing the 5 positions, you can easily slip into the 3 note per string scales. They are not 2 different things. And they are not 2 different options.
Many different methods to achieve just that.
There is not many different methods, Andre.
But of all of the methods, the CAGED method and the 3 note per string method are the 2 most common. And in this video, I'm going to provide you with a ton of...
It's truly a Rick Beato. It's truly a Rick Beato, not knowing what came first, the chicken or the egg. It's the same as all 7 modes come out of the major scale. What if I told you they're totally different scales? No, they didn't come out of the major scale. No, the Dorian is just this scale all by itself. And the Lydian, it's just its own scale all by itself. It's the same as saying that you don't know that the modes come out of the major scale.
Evidence of why I believe the 3 note per string method is superior. But before we get to all of the detailed points that involve actually playing the guitar,
Now here is what we would expect from Andre, because Andre is so logical and so reasonable. That's why Andre has it wrong, because he's turned it into a logical fallacy. It's logical, right? Like everything that he's going to say is the logical reasoning that he's come to, not understanding there's a reason for why we do things. You know, just like if you went to work and then you thought you were coming up with a better idea, and then your boss gets mad at you and goes, "No, we do it that way for a reason." And Andre doesn't know why we do it like we do in the first place, and he thinks that he has a better idea.
I want you to just take a second.
Now, do you think it would be a good idea? See, the positional playing is like it is because of the way it sounds. I mean, how do I say it? You should play things for how they sound best, not for what's best for your fingers. There's a reason why the positional playing, the regular pattern, sounds better than the 3-note per string pattern. This is where we get into the types of things composers know. When you're arranging 122 different instruments, or not different instruments, 122 different I said different again, to make the melodies come across right. So how do you put all these instruments together and all of it sounds right?
Of why I
Because I'm telling you, if you tried to write an orchestral masterpiece with what Andre's doing, it will sound wrong. Andre would be playing the same exact notes that I'm playing, but Andre's would sound wrong to everyone's ear. And it wouldn't be opinion. It would be, we would listen to Andre's versus mine and go, wait a minute, it's the same exact notes, but why does Andre's sound wrong to everyone's ear? It's the same reason if Andre played any of his original stuff, there's going to be something wrong with it.
Believe the 3-note per string method is superior. But before we get to all of the detailed points that involve actually playing the guitar, I want you to just take a second to look at the different shapes and patterns that come from each of these methods.
Can we see the logical fallacy Andre's coming to right here? He's trying to make it easier on his hand to play it, but he doesn't understand why it's played this way sonically in the regular pattern. So yes, Andre, it would be much easier to play it in a 3-note per string pattern. Do you know why that's a bad idea? Because it's going to sound wrong. Do you know why it's going to sound wrong? I can explain it. I mean, it's going to be difficult for me to explain. I have like 15 orchestral albums. It's how I wrote every song. I learned it from composers, but I don't even know if I can explain it. It's about playing the notes that are closest to each other. You play the notes that are only a 4-finger, 5-finger span. And then you go down to the next string and you go to the next string. And that sounds right. If you take it, the same exact thing, and you play it in a 3-note per string pattern, all of a sudden it sounds spacey. It sounds weird. And your melodies sound wrong. You're playing exactly the same notes. These are exactly the same notes. You play it in the regular positional pattern, and all of it will sound musical. You'll build the most brilliant melodies. If you take the same exact thing and play it, it's the way that it stretches out over the fretboard. You take the same thing and put it in 3-note per string patterns, the melody sounds wrong now. It sounds spacey. It sounds weird. It sounds disjointed. It sounds like fusion jazz. exactly the way Andre sounds. See, when Andre plays like this, it forces him to sound like fusion jazz because it's going to be a melody, it's going to be a chord progression, and it's all going to be disjointed, spacey, and weird. Then, if Andre wouldn't be capable of playing like a beautiful, perfect melody, the one that everyone hears in their head, because Andre doesn't understand that the positional pattern is like it is for a reason, that there's 5 positions on the guitar for a reason, and each one of these positions has a different flavor and a different sound. And if you change all these into 3 note per string scales, it loses all that magic. That's why we consider the 3 note per string patterns for metal, because metal's disjointed and metal doesn't have melodies like regular songs do. This is more of a video of, hey Andre, do you know why your melodies don't sound right? Let me fix them for you. Let me show you something here, Andre.
It's pretty clear that one of these systems has shapes that are simply put.
Now, is it very clear that Andre has a logical fallacy because he doesn't understand sonically how this shit works? He just wants to make it easier on your hand to play.
It's pretty clear that one of these systems has shapes that are simply put more uniform and more symmetrical. And when it comes to learning anything, humans are pattern-seeking creatures. If I draw
there's going to be one. Let's let Andre talk. Look how Andre has fooled himself. Look at how he thinks he's being a logical, reasonable person. Guys, human beings are pattern-seeking people. It sounds so logical, Andre. You're fucking wrong.
To learning anything, humans are pattern-seeking creatures. If I draw 2 dots and a line, you see a face. There's no logical reason behind it.
Andre, this is a great video on how logical fallacies. See, maybe when you learn to be a logical, right-brained person, you need to go watch Star Trek, because that's what I did when I was a kid. What showed me the logical fallacy? You need to go watch Mr. Spock. And you need to watch the way that Captain Kirk interacts with Dr. Spock. And if you go binge watch Star Trek's going to show you your logical fallacy to yours. You'll learn it in a fun way, in a fun entertainment way. You'll see how you're identical to Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk is always fucking right. So I guess in this circumstance, in every circumstance, you would be Spock, I would be Captain Kirk.
If I draw 2 dots and a line, you see a face. There's no logical reason behind it. It's kind of just wired into us. And so it just makes sense to start with patterns that are easy to visualize, which will make them easier to memorize and thus internalize.
Yeah, that would be very logical if you didn't understand why they're like that sonically.
That's reason 1 why I think the 3 note per string method is better. But now we're going to get
that's not a good reason, bro. It's not a good reason, just because you know how difficult it is to play all 5 positions with the correct fingering. I think I'm the only one that kind of does it, because I'm the only one that teaches it. I'm the kind of only one that knows the importance of it. No, I take the hard road. No, play the correct pattern, and when there's 2 notes on the string, you're gonna have to learn to hammer on, pull off that thing. You're going to learn how to work with the limitations of the guitar rather than trying to override them.
Of the reasons that involve actually playing the guitar. So download the free PDF below, grab your instrument, follow along with me, and I promise you're going to have a bunch of big realizations along the way. But here's
Andre, you're fucking people up, if anything.
For 2. I call it the anchoring principle, and it's actually really simple once you see it. As guitar players...
and this is as far as I made it through I actually only made it through like the first 10 seconds of this video, but we're doing it together here, just like every video.
Naturally like to lock our hand in place with 1 finger and build around it. When we can comfortably do that...
and what's funny is I've already blown my entire wad. I've shown you. Like, we could actually end the video, but let's go over the whole video. But it's going to be this calming. It's not like a bunch of things. It's once you know that the positions are like they are, and if you try to make a melody with a 3-note, try it right now. Try to make a melody. Try to play a melody that you already know. Play a staple. Play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I want you to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the 3-note per string version, and I want you to play it in the regular positional playing. You're going to notice when you play it in the 3-note per string pattern that it's all disjointed, weird, sounds like fusion jazz, doesn't add up. You're playing the same notes, but they're weird, disjointed, fusion jazzy. Then you play it in the regular positional playing and you go, oh, this is brilliant. It's perfect. There's a huge sonic difference. Huge.
Shapes and
one creates music where people go, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful melody. And the other one creates this disjointed fusion jazz where you can't even fucking make melodies.
Patterns just feel better. Take everyone's favorite shape of all time, box 1 of the minor pentatonic scale. When I play licks in the key of A minor...
No, that's one of the positions. That's just one of the positions right there.
You'll notice that my first finger...
It's the E minor pattern, but it's also the G major pattern. Do you know how much is contained? Like, do you know when you're playing that there's the E minor arpeggio in here, constructed right there? And you can easily see that. You don't see this pattern as the E minor pentatonic. You see it as an E minor chord, and you see it as a G major chord at the same fucking time. Then, once you can see both sides of the coin, you can see the minor side of it, you can see the major side of it. That's what this is. What a pentatonic scale is putting together an E minor chord and a G major chord. So we call it the E minor pattern and we call it the G major pattern. It's very easy now. Now we know the pentatonic for it because putting those two patterns together creates the pentatonic scale. It's very easy to learn the major scale after that. You know how easy it is to master the fretboard? I'm teaching you right now. You don't see this scale as a pentatonic scale. You see it as an E minor chord and a G major chord that both combine together to... Doesn't that change everything? Doesn't that make guitar completely different when you understand that? When you understand that that's how pentatonic scales are built. But that's how you see this shit. How you see the fretboard is you understand that it's a minor chord and a major chord that create that pentatonic scale. Then you add the extra notes in there. Look at all you can do. You can do the arpeggio for the minor chord. So to do perfect guitar solos, melodies, you would call out these notes. If you wanted to make a perfect melody, you would start playing the E minor or minor chord part of it or major chord part of it. If you wanted to get a little bit more sassy with your melody, you might add a couple of these pentatonic notes into it. If you want to make it sound like beautifully complicated, you would play the entire major scale that's already in here, which is also the minor scale. The notes don't change. Do you see how much Andre doesn't know or doesn't see, doesn't get? You know how many people don't know how to play guitar on YouTube? You know how many teachers have no fucking clue of what they're doing and how beautiful all this shit is, how easy to learn, that there's a rhyme and a reason to all of it. And Andre's kind of like Bozo the Clown over here, not understanding the function of any of this shit and thinking that he's got a new idea with his lame-brained logical... You look how far away... Look at all this shit Andre doesn't know. Then just goes, I got a better idea. Like Andre would get fired from work because work... people that have been doing this shit for like, imagine you're at work and people have literally been doing this shit for 30 fucking years. Then the new kid comes in, doesn't know any of this shit, doesn't know why it's done, and then goes, I got a better idea. And then Andre gets fired because he just won't learn how to do it. He thinks he has a better way of doing it.
Finger is anchored to fret 5 across every string. And that anchoring on that 5th fret makes it effortless to navigate the entire box.
Yeah, you see how I gave everything to you? We're only in the first 2 minutes of Andre's video. We can do I'm pretty sure we're not going to do the whole video. Maybe we will. We could end the video right here. I blew my wad. I gave you the absolute fucking truth. Everything after this, watching Andre, everything, now that we have the truth that's unmovable, no one can fight it. All you could do is learn how to do it. It makes everything else Andre say irrelevant. Like it's all filler after this. Like, you know what the real test is? This is what Andre should have done, but he doesn't understand how it's sonic. He should have just played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the 3-note per string to see that it's disjointed, doesn't work, doesn't even sound like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star anymore. Try it yourself. Prove it to yourself. Then play the regular pattern to go, oh my God, why? They're completely different. One sounds right and one sounds wrong.
My hypothesis is that...
You know how that's not my opinion? Go play it your fucking self to see that this is how the shit works.
The natural...
Like, imagine trying to arrange, imagine being me, and you're a composer. Imagine if you composed the entire orchestra in 3-note per string patterns. The whole orchestra would sound like shit. Everything would sound spacey and disjointed with melodies that don't fucking work. I mean, I imagine not knowing that. Imagine you just call yourself a composer one day and you take all this lame brain bozo shit and you compose all the music into 3-note per string patterns and you don't know why it doesn't sound right. You go, it's supposed to sound like Little Mermaid. It's supposed to be an orchestral masterpiece, but why does it sound like a fusion jazz, disjointed piece of shit? None of the melodies even sound like fucking melodies. Nothing works. Everything's disjointed, spacey, weird, doesn't add up. And if you don't know any of this shit, you would never know why. You would go, why doesn't it sound? I don't understand. I'm playing all the same notes. I'm doing all the notes or whatever it is. Why does it not sound? That's why when Andre plays, it doesn't sound right.
Comfort caused by the anchoring principle is exactly why so many guitarists develop their first licks in that box of the pentatonic scale.
You know how this isn't my opinion? Let's have Andre play a melody, and then let's have me play a melody, and we'll just see which one sounds right by the masses. The masses can pick which one sounds right.
It's why so many amazing classic guitar phrases live in this one spot across genres. We're talking blues,
No,
jazz,
you're talking about a positional pattern, Andre.
rock, everything. And here's where 3-note per string shines again. Every single 3-note per string pattern is built around this principle. You anchor your first finger in position, and suddenly the entire shape is comfortable and easy to navigate.
See, with Andre, it's about what's comfortable to play. He doesn't understand why it's done like it's done. Yeah, bro, you don't change shit just to make it easier on your fingers. You learn how to adapt to the guitar. This isn't adapting to the guitar. This is changing everything because you think it makes it easier for you to play. Wrong. You know, I guarantee you Andre has never watched Star Trek because Andre is so fucking logical. He doesn't understand that logical fallacies exist. Like, he doesn't understand that you can't be a logical person without understanding your own logical fallacies. Do you just hear it? Do you just hear it? I mean, you almost have to be a composer. You almost have to be somebody that's really schooled in this type of shit to understand how the 3 note per string pattern sounds disjointed, weird. You can't make melodies with it. Like maybe you need something to reference up against, but can't you just hear it? I mean, I don't want you to lie to yourself. I don't want you to fool yourself. Maybe you can't hear it because you don't have all the references. But to my ear, don't you, like I say that, but I don't want you to fool yourself. I don't want you to lie to yourself. Once you hear the contrast, you would hear how disjointed and floaty. It almost creates the Lydian sound. You know how like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, they like to use the Lydian because it creates this like spacey, disjointed thing. It's almost like doing 3 note per string patterns. It like forces the Lydian characteristic of everything being disjointed and floaty and turning almost into a fusion jazz. See, listen to this. And I'm telling you, I don't want you to lie to yourself. But do you hear it? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Also, music works diagonally. See, you learn the 5 positions, but to go from low to high, you go diagonally through the patterns. You go from low to high because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right to play these scales from the low note to the high note, even when you're playing in the right positions. No, you start out, you play 2 strings of one pattern. You move to the higher pattern. You play 2 strings on that. You move to the higher pattern. It works diagonally. When it's all said and done, once we learn all 5 patterns, which can take you 1 day, doesn't take very long. This shit's so easy. Once you learn all 5 patterns, you learn how to play them with the correct fingering, then you learn to move from pattern to pattern in your playing, because you'll notice it doesn't sound right sonically to just play in the same pattern, to go from low notes to high notes. You have to move diagonally. But you know what will tell you that? Your own fucking ears. Because you'll go to make a melody. You'll go to play. You'll go to play from the low notes in the scale to the high notes. And when you get to the high notes, you'll realize there's something sonically wrong with it, because you have to move diagonally on the guitar to make it sound right. You know, see, isn't it everything that I'm explaining different? Because they all think they're being weirdos. They all think that they're outside, that they won't learn the basics. They don't know the fucking basics. They all think, I'm playing this complicated, they do think that I'm doing this complicated fusion jazz thing. I'm too important. I'm too great to actually know the basics of music. They think that somehow if they played a proper fucking melody, then that's like baby stuff, but they can't do it. They can't figure out how to play a fucking proper melody while they go, no, that's not complicated fusion jazz, as they can only play fusion jazz. Yeah, if everybody had educated ears, you would realize how wrong this sounds. This sounds so fucking wrong right here. Even though Andre's playing the Locrian, it doesn't matter. Your ears aren't hearing Locrian. You're hearing how the scale degrees don't add up correctly.
You're locked into a great position, which combines perfectly with reason number 3, the natural reach of the hand. One of the most
everything. Look how the formula is working. It seems to be this way for everything. Andre doesn't know the sonic qualities of this shit and why it is like it is, and he just wants to make it easier to play.
Combines perfectly with reason number 3.
I mean, isn't that exactly how you would get scolded at work? Like you would look like the biggest idiot at your job. People have been doing it for 30 years and they know why they're doing it. And then here comes the new kid, Andre, has a good idea, gets himself fired from his job.
Natural reach of the hand.
Thinks he's teaching the old timers something. He thinks we've all been doing this since the beginning of time, and there's no reason why it's done like it is. And then Andre just has a better idea.
Common things guitarists say is
like, wow, bro, you thought you were so smart. Dude, you would look so stupid at your job or in front of other musicians. Or imagine I'm doing my composer shit. And then Andre comes into the orchestra, and Andre all of a sudden wants to teach the orchestra how to play, and he has a better idea. You would look like the biggest fucking clown, bro. You would be schooled beyond belief, bro.
Break out of boxes.
Break out of boxes. There is no box. There's the part where you don't know how to play. So you try to change the fingering to make it easy. There is no box. There's the box that you can't fucking break out of, guy.
One of the most common things...
see, that's when I start taking the gloves off. When people start saying, playing right is hard. It's boxing you in. No, you don't know how to fucking play, dude. You don't know how this shit fits together. So don't be telling people that this is limited and you're in a box. You're just fucking people over, Andre, while you're making money doing it at this point, Andre. So I might be taking the gloves off. I'm being really fucking nice here.
3, the natural reach of the hand. One of the most common things guitarists say is, I want to break out of boxes.
I want to break out of... No one put you in a box. There's just learning how to play.
And we guitarists always say that because...
You guitarists always say that because you don't know how to play because you're fucking idiots. You're the dumbest people alive saying shit that you don't know what it means and you have no clue of any of this shit. And you all go say your little buzzwords that make it difficult for beginners. I mean, all you're doing is sabotaging everyone out of your own fucking greatness. Break out a box. What do you mean break out? You mean the regular positional patterns that none of you know how to play with the correct fingering? How about you learn to play with the correct fingering? How about you learn you want to break out of the box? Learn how to play correctly. Learn how to play with the correct fingering. Learn how to switch from pattern to pattern. Then you'll break out of this fictional box all of you are just making up.
I like the idea of being stuck in one place in one shape.
There's no such thing as being stuck in... You move from shape to shape. The guitar is played diagonally. What do you mean being stuck in? You mean not knowing how to fucking play?
Guitarists always say that because we don't like the idea of being stuck in one place in one shape.
Would you like to see how much better I am than you? Andre, I shred you up. Like, if we were going to talk about actually playing the thing... Andre, I play in these 5 patterns. I don't make it easier on myself. I shred. I mean, like you're not even close to the caliber of musician I am. I don't make any of this shit easier on me. I play it right, dude. And my shit sounds right, and yours sounds wrong.
Here's the beauty of the 3-note per string method. If you learn it the correct way, it can break...
The correct way? Andre... The correct way is to build the 5 positions and to realize that the next step is to build the 3-note per string patterns. But for some reason, you think these are 2 different things, like one didn't come out of the other, like it's not a process. Here, Andre.
Here's the beauty of the 3-note per string method. If you learn it the correct way, it can break you out of boxes automatically. And here's why.
Look at that. Break you out of... What box, Andre? The one where you don't know how to play?
The human hand has a natural reach of about 5 frets on the guitar. Now, of course, some students feel that this stretch is difficult at first for various reasons like hand size, past injuries, and so on. But apart from players with injuries, I've never met someone who couldn't develop this stretch with a little practice and posture adjustments. And for my students with injuries or arthritis, we always find great workarounds, but...
It's sad that you have injuries, bro. I mean students, because you're teaching them wrong there, Andre.
That's a topic for a different video. The 5 fret
Not my opinion, Andre. You just don't understand fucking music.
Gives you exactly 3 notes per string, which means when you're playing your 3 note per string scales, you're not just memorizing some box pattern. You're actually learning the entire real estate of the fretboard that your hand can naturally cover.
I wish all of you could hear how disjointed and wrong that sounds. We need the comparison. The perfect, once again, it settles, there's no debate here. There's just right and wrong. So we just play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Ends everything. We realize one's right and one's wrong. Play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in the 3 note per string version, then play it in the right way. And you'll see why the right way is the right fucking way.
This means you don't have to break out of boxes because you were never in one to begin with. Oh, and by the way...
No, you're in a box where you'll never play a proper melody and never know why. You're in the type of box where if you went to arrange my orchestra, it would sound all just disjointed and fucking wrong, and you wouldn't know why it sounds wrong. That's where we're at. We're at uneducated students here thinking that they're teachers is where we're at with this.
I know some of you have noticed and are probably wondering why every time I play the scale, I'm including a repeated note right here.
Yes, I absolutely wonder why you're doing that. I absolutely wonder why you can't see the fretboard. You've eliminated all the tools, like how I was showing earlier. The way that you see these patterns is you understand it's a minor chord and a major chord that builds it, which builds the pentatonic scale, which then you build the major scale on top of that. You've eliminated all of it, bro. You've taken away the way that you see guitar. So my question is, how do you even see the fretboard, bro? You've taken away the entire road. You've taken away every fucking thing to replace it with, it's easier for me to play 3 note per string patterns, but I don't know why. I don't know why it's wrong. Well, you want to show yourself how it's wrong? Play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Play anything. Play a melody. Watch how wrong it sounds, Andre.
This goes back to exactly what I was saying about not really caring about being stuck in a particular pattern. What I'm most interested in when I'm working on scales in this way is having a good idea of all the notes I can come to.
And do you know how flavorful it sounds right, but do you know how flavorful it actually is when you just play in the 5 positions and you learn to deal with the string that has 2 notes on it? Because all the strings will have 3 notes on them, and then one string will have 2 notes on them. Yeah, when you learn to hammer on pull off that string, when you learn to deal with it, you learn to deal with it actually makes it more flavorful. Your 3 note per string pattern goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Mine has a flavorful hammer-on pull-off because I'm dealing with the limitations of the guitar. I'm working with I'm complementing the limitations of the guitar, and you're trying to override them.
Reach. And so I want to know that I have the same note here and here, even if I never choose to play them.
It doesn't even matter what Andre says. It's all filler since he's just got it. He doesn't just understand the basics, doesn't understand how any of this is put together. Everything Andre says is just, it doesn't even make sense. It's just filler.
Right after each other. So that's why. But in my method of teaching this 3 note per string system, I also teach the version.
How about teaching the 3 note? How about you teach the proper way to play, and then we teach how the 3 note per string scales came out of that, Andre? Chicken and egg. Something comes first. We learn the 5 positions, then we learn how the 3 note per string patterns were between all of them. We could sit here and do it right now. It's not like this is like some. It's basically it's a discovery that you make on your own, as in. You learn the 5 positions, then you would be like, hey, wait a minute, there seems to be scales between the scales. And there's 5 positions. When you build the 3 note per string patterns between them, you come out with 7 scales. You come out with 7 3 note per string patterns. We should understand where these patterns come from in the first place, Andre. Instead of thinking that they're 2 different things, it's a process of learning.
pattern that involves the shift, which is like this. But that's a whole different topic. I think it's really important to understand both patterns. But anyway, back to the point of this video. But of course, we don't want to just sit.
It was interesting how you said understand both patterns, but you were talking about 2 3-note per string patterns.
Position with our hand anchored to one 5-fret span forever. And this is also where 3 notes per string really shines. There are 7 3-note per string patterns that span the full.
Yes, and where do those come from? 7 3-note per string patterns that came out of the 5 positional patterns, Andre.
Length of the guitar neck. And here's the trick. Each pattern is only 1/2 step or a whole step away from the next one.
See, this is how Andre proves he doesn't know how to see the guitar. He's eliminated how you see. It's so easy to see the fretboard. It's so easy to see the major chord, the minor chord, how it builds the pentatonic, how the major scale. It's so easy to be able to see and play and have all of these options. And Andre's taken away everything. I don't even know how you can see the fretboard. I don't think that Andre can see the fretboard. He's eliminated every fucking trick that all this shit shows it to you. It makes it so incredibly fucking simple. And Andre's eliminated there's no way to see the guitar anymore. There's no way to master the fretboard with what Andre's doing here. And it's so hard because Andre's repeating a note. He's just doing another logical fallacy. I mean, boy, since you're repeating a note, I'm trying to get everybody to hear how disjointed these scales sound, but then Andre has another logical fallacy where he wants to add the same fucking note in, which really makes it Bozo the Clown time.
That means if you know your patterns, connecting them is effortless. A tiny slide to the left or right, and you're immediately in a new anchor position, still covering the same natural 5-fret span.
Yeah, you should be doing that with the 5 positions, Andre, not 3-note per string patterns.
And with your hand. So if you can just picture it for a moment, once you've learned all 7 patterns, you can move.
I could only imagine being on the construction site, and I know all the tricks of the trade. I'm the fucking boss. I show people how to do it. I could only imagine the scolding that Andre would have. On the job site, on the construction site, Andre would get both fucking barrels for this shit, thinking that he's smarter than me. Andre would get fucking shamed and humiliated in front of the entire fucking job site for this type of shit.
And down the neck seamlessly just by shifting your hand.
Hey, Andre, we do things for a reason. Why don't you ask? Why, Andre, quit taking it upon yourself and realize things are done for a reason here, guy.
Left or to the right. And suddenly the entire fretboard becomes one connected logical map.
No, you have no map. No, I challenge you. You can't see the fretboard, bro. You've eliminated everything. What you just said, I could just say is a straight out lie because you cannot see the fretboard. You have no idea what's going on with the fretboard. You've eliminated every single way to see it.
Right. And suddenly the entire fretboard becomes one connected logical map.
No.
Now, I probably should have said this earlier, and I know a bunch of you already ran to the comments to say this yourself. But of course, the CAGED method can work.
Can work? The 5 if you understand it in the 5 positions, now you understand it in the 5 positions of violin. You understand it in the 5 positions. You understand how it created all of classical music. And here's Andre going, it can work, as though it's 2 separate things.
And really,
you can't play, Andre. You can't play the correct scales with the correct fingering. So you thought that you made it all simple on yourself and you ruined music, Andre.
Anything can work. Quick example, Guthrie Trapp, you probably know him. He's an amazing player and he swears by the CAGED method. But I want you to just...
There's no such thing as the CAGED method. There's 5 positions on all string instruments, Andre. It really makes you stupid, Andre, because you think you think string instruments are somehow in a category, then guitar is outside of that category, Andre.
Remember this
next. Once again, if I tried to rearrange the orchestra in your 3-note per string, it would sound like absolute shit, bro.
Point. The best players in the world are not amazing because of their method.
Look at Andre. He's so logical, but his conclusion is postmodernism. Isn't it weird? Andre's so logical. Don't you think he would come out with an answer? I would. Wouldn't you think Andre is all so logical about it that he would actually have a better way? Or he would have an answer. But you know what Andre's answer is? No one could ever know what guitar is. No one could ever know what to play. Everyone just has this different random... No, there's only one way to do it, bro. Math is math. And 2 + 2 = 4. And Andre's story is you just get to make up math for yourself. There's so many different ways to come to 2 + 2. No, Andre, there's only 2 + 2 = 4, Andre.
Amazing because they are special. They are gifted. And this won't shock anyone, but I am not one of those gifted special players. I never have been. And because of that...
you're fucking Mr. Spock from Star Trek that doesn't understand his own logical fallacies.
Always sought out the most logical and efficient ways of...
You've always set out but you didn't learn in school. It's very clear, Andre, that you didn't learn in school the logical fallacy. You cannot be a logical person without understanding your own logical fallacies here, Andre.
Never have been. And because of that, I've always sought out the most logical and efficient ways of learning. And that's what brought me to this.
Yeah, you didn't care about what sonically works. You didn't care about... that's not very logical, Andre. You didn't care about music. You eliminated music itself and just tried to make it easier for you to play.
But anyway, let's get back to the points. But reason number 5 might be my favorite because it shows just how efficient this method really is.
Oh, really?
When you learn your 3-note per string scales, you're not just learning one scale. You're also learning modes at the exact same time.
Andre, you learn the right way first, and then you learn how this came out of it. Andre, it's not like a A or B thing. It's a road of learning. So you learn, and then you get up to this part of it. But you've already learned your modes. You learn how the positions are made up of a major scale or a major chord, a minor chord. Put those two together, it creates a pentatonic. Out of that, it creates the major scale, which is your first mode. We've already learned all of our modes by this point, Andre, and we would just be learning them in the 3-note per string style here, Andre.
It's a 2-for-1 deal. So I know this part is especially confusing for a lot of guitar players. So let's do this one time together very slowly.
So I would love to finish this video, but my video is 47 whopping minutes here. So even though we're just halfway through Andre's video, there's truly no point in going on because the only test here, it's not my opinion. Go play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, anything you want, any staple. Please go play it in the 3-note per string pattern, then play it in the regular fucking positional pattern, and you'll realize why the positional pattern. You'll realize. Go try to arrange an orchestra with your 3-note per string shit and watch how it turns into fusion jazz. Watch how it's all spacey, disjointed, doesn't work, and you don't know why. You don't know why, Andre. So, much love to everyone. There's the absolute truth. Look at Andre's clickbait title. Did you learn guitar scales the hard way with a question mark? I mean, what a shiesty ass motherfucker Andre really was with a question mark. Did you learn guitar scales the hard way? Question mark. Like, what's up with your title, Andre? What's up with the weird? Like, it's a title that you would use in a guided hypnosis. Nonsensical. Andre here that's so logical. Look at your title. Look at your title that's like a form of hypnosis itself. It makes it a form of hypnosis by putting the question mark here. In a guided meditation, they purposely say nonsensical things because it puts you in a meditative state. Like, that's Andre's title. Like, logical Andre has a hypnosis title. Like, it just fits everything. It just fits everything perfectly. So, much love to everyone. Hope you have the greatest day.